Hi, I'm Nick Driftwood, filmmaker and Panasonic Lumix ambassador for Lumix G cameras. In this video, I'm going to be running through the comparative differences between the Lumix GH5 and the new Lumix GH5S. Plus, we're going to take a look at the benefits to filmmakers that this camera brings. The GH5 came out at the beginning of 2017, and the new GH5S ships in early 2018. Both cameras feature a 17.3 by 13mm micro four thirds aspect ratio live MOS sensor. Both offer a plethora of different picture sizes, frame rates and continuous recording modes in 24Hz, 50Hz and 60Hz. So they're truly global friendly cameras that can work on any platform such as the web, broadcast or cinema. So what's different? Well, a quick glance and you would assume that both cameras are identical. Indeed, they share the same body design. Though cosmetically and rather distinctively, the GH5S sports a red record button and the drive mode dial has a similar red livery. So internally is where we find all the differences. Now, do you remember this and this, the GH1 and GH2? Because filmmakers rejoice, we have the return of the multi-aspect sensor in the GH5S. It's an oversized sensor that gives accurate lens to sensor angle of view. That means the same diagonal view at different aspect ratios. If you're using a 12mm lens, it will look like a 12mm lens diagonal in all aspects of the field of view. Now, priority has been given to the development and calibration of this multi-aspect sensor, which is understandable as the majority of videographers go manual. They switch off stabilization when using tripods, drones or gimbals over using body stabilization or IBIS. Optical image stabilization, OIS, works just fine. So if you remember, the GH5 has a 20.3 megapixel sensor. However, sometimes less is more. The GH5S sensor uses only 10.28 megapixels effectively to capture images. And the reason for this is simple. Video resolutions require less pixels than photography, so there's bigger pixels, nearly twice the size of the GH5s, for improved processing. The GH5S sports dual native ISOs, 400 low and 2500 high. And it works in a similar way to Panasonic cinema cameras. Two dedicated analog circuits to each pixel help to suppress sensitive noise. So it's primed for fantastic sharpness and tonality in daylight or low light conditions without the gain noise. You can instantly switch between the high and low ISO settings or simply leave it on auto and it'll do it all for you. The noise floor is at its most minimal when left on the native ISOs. The extended ISOs now go from an ISO low of 80 to an incredible 204,800 high. Filmmakers will love the ability to utilise the native ISO features to various lighting conditions, as overexposure can be prevented in bright situations and sharp and tonal rich images can be captured in dark situations. Indeed, high contrast scenes look fabulous on the GH5S and the highlight roll-off is very pleasing. The slow motion features of the GH5S have gone a step further over the GH5's 180 frames per second. This will do 240 frames per second now. That's a variable frame rate in FHD, and if you expose correctly, 10% of real-time 24p can look really good. Finally, other improvements have been made in the autofocus detection range and metering, and that includes improved continuous autofocus. Thanks for watching.